Folks, today I'm tasting Blanton Single Barrel Gold Edition. It's a rare, hyped, and not easy to get bottle. So the question becomes, is it worth the chase and price? Let's find out. Let's start by unboxing this bad boy here. I really appreciate a box that is easy to open. And first thing we notice here in the inside is it's really well protected. This thing isn't going to move anywhere or rattle around as it's being moved out. We're going to move and unbox that part. And very first thing we notice is this beautiful black velvet bag featuring the Blantons logo in gold yellow here. So off the bat, it's already giving off luxury vibes. And now for the bottle. Let's go ahead and open this up and show off the bottle here. If there was one word that I would say about this presentation, it would be quiet confidence. And here's why, folks. It's because this bottle here is nothing overly flashy. It's subtle by design. The faceted glass you see delivers a beautiful deep amber color in the inside. Also, the bottle itself feels appropriately heavy in the hand. And lastly, this full gold horse and jockey topper, it tops things off beautifully. So now let's talk about the brand. Blantons popularized the single barrel idea. And this gold edition leans into the premium cues compared to other Blanton bottles. First off, it has a heavier glass. It also has the gold embossed label all around the bottle. Folks, this label is so cool. It tells you when the whiskey was dumped, which in my case was on February 24th, 2025. It came from barrel number 65, stored in warehouse H, which we'll talk more about shortly. And it has 103 proof at 51.5% ABV. And lastly, one of the most reputable aspects of this gold edition bottle is this fully gold toned topper. On mine, you can see it shows the letter N. Yes, folks, part of the fun with Blantons is to try to catch them all, or at least the toppers to spell out the Blanton's name, Blantons. And having a gold topper as part of that is a collector's must-have. Sure, you can buy all of them in yellow gold directly from Blanton's website, but honestly, folks, where is the fun in that, right? Now, some notes about the bourbon. This is made at the Buffalo Trace warehouse using high rye mash bill. This involves corn, rye, and malted barley. The bourbon is aged in a metal-clad warehouse, a very unique quality of Buffalo Trace for this bottle, which introduces significant temperature swings, which leads to a faster, more intense maturation. The aging takes place using single oak white barrels and is manually determined by the master distiller when it is ready, which typically is anywhere between 6 to 8 years. Another cool thing about this bourbon is that it is chill filtered. This is when the bourbon is cooled down below 40 degrees Fahrenheit and passed through fine filters prior to bottling. This removes natural compounds like fatty acids and proteins. The impact to the bourbon is that if you enjoy drinking your bourbon chilled, you won't notice any visual changes, because without chill filtration, a chilled bourbon would appear cloudy or hazy. Now, because this comes from a single barrel, each bottle's bourbon will taste just slightly different, which is part of the appeal. From this bottle, expect richer caramel, honey, dried citrus, and a more persistent finish versus the standard single barrel. It's the familiar Blanton's profile, but just turned up. Okay, let's get to the fun part of today, folks, the tasting. I'm going to pour one glass neat and the other on the rocks. So, first thing we'll notice is all bottles will be sealed with this wax, which you can remove just simply by grabbing one of these legs and ripping it off like that, and then remove the wax entirely. And as you all, if you've watched any of my previous episodes, you know this is my favorite part of any new bottle. Ooh, yummy. Okay, I sometimes get a little carried away with that. Don't judge me. So, like I said, I'm going to pour 2 glasses. First one's going to go into my glass I'm going to drink neat. Beautiful. And then the other one, I'm going to grab a clean glass and just take one rock. I don't have a big rock, and we're not going to let this chill for long. So we're going to put it in there. We're going to let this chill in there for a little bit. And I do want to see at the end, before we finish, is does the color change? And the answer should be not really towards the end. As always, first, let's check out the nose. That's delicious, folks. Let me tell you what I'm smelling here. It's creme brulee. It's got vanilla bean, orange peel, sugars. Honestly, nothing that you would expect something to be too bold, but it makes it very tempting, and you immediately want to try it after that. So with that, let's try our first sip, and then we'll do a second sip before going over to the one on the rocks. Ooh. Cool. All right. So on that first taste, definitely smooth, but also you can definitely feel the 103 proof coming in. Um, the nose is pretty spot on. I definitely tasted that caramel and toffee flavor towards the beginning. Then it actually hits with some fruit flavors. I don't know if it's peach or apricot, but I'm getting something like that. And at the end, right now, towards the back of the throat, I'm feeling an orange zest. And let's talk about the finish. And that's why it took me a little bit to really taste it and let it finish doing its thing. The finish at the end, it lingers in a good way. I'm not loving the lingering, but it's not bad. And the reason because is, like I said, it feels warm throughout the entire mouth. And the white oak barrel does come through at the end with vanilla, a little bit of tobacco taste. And again, because the proof is so high at 103, the ethanol is, I would say, elegant. There's no discomfort or unpleasantness burning, but I would say that I've tasted some other very high quality bourbons and whiskeys that have a little more smoothness given high proof. But it is unmistakably Blanton's. It's deeper, longer, and more polished. Let's do a second sip just to see if anything has changed. On that second one, it's much more enjoyable. So also what you want to look for in high quality spirits. The more you drink it, the more the flavor should really start settling in. And not because you're getting drunk. Sure, after 3, 4, 5 drinks, really anything can taste delicious, but we're talking one glass, 3-finger pours. Every single sip should get better. And that's exactly what I just noticed here on the second one. So this was delicious. Let's go back to the one on the rocks. So take a look at the difference in colors here. I am noticing it is a little hazy. Actually, now that I dip it, it's not that different. So I think the chill filtration does its thing as marketed. Let's go ahead and taste to see if this now feels different after taking 2 neat sips. Yeah, I'll be honest, like similar to some of my other tastings, I just really strongly prefer everything neat. Even adding just a little bit of chill aspect to it, in my opinion, reduces that warm feeling, some of the layering of all the fruits and the orange peels, and it really just helps bring out more of the rye flavor to it. I don't think it's worth doing on these very high quality bottles. If you've got something lower quality, a little bit more mid-shelf, lower shelf, go ahead and chill a living bit Jesus out of that. I think it definitely would help it out. But I definitely wouldn't be drinking this chill. Definitely prefer it neat. So let's go ahead and wrap things up with my verdict. On flavor and feel, in my opinion, it's excellent. It's cohesive and genuinely feels luxurious in the glass. Just take a look at this. It's beautiful. And if you're already into the Blanton signature and want more depth plus a longer finish, this puppy is it. And at or near MSRP of $110 or so, I think this is a must try, folks. But given how hard it is to get a hold of these, you might see them priced as high as $230 or even more. I paid $230 for this one and I have no regrets about it. However, I wouldn't fault people that have the opinion that it's not worth the higher price compared to the $60 to $100 for the regular single barrel. Because frankly, I would have to agree. Once you try it once, you'll say, worth it. But give me the regular next time. Not because this isn't good, it's because the regular single barrel is that Good. So to wrap things up, folks, if you're into more tastings and reviews on premium bottles and spirits like this, consider subscribing to my channel to not miss out on anything. I've got several tastings already in play, and I love talking about all premiums. As you see here with Blantons, I've already got a few bottles here I'm more than happy to talk about with you. And so here on the left, we've got two of the single barrel regular editions. This one, as we see here, shows an S. And then this one over here shows a T right there. Both of these, delicious. And then we've got this other really hard to find bottle of Blantons. Comes with its own bag, a little different than the gold. And if we open it up here, this is, as we see here, it's straight from the barreled bourbon bottle. This was delicious, folks. Like I said, hard to find, more expensive, I believe, than the gold edition. And this one came in at a whopping 122.4 proof and 61.2% ABV. This didn't even last me a day because I was sharing it with friends and we had such a great time. One that I wish I could remember a little better. But with that said, folks, what do I have already available to you? I've got an episode where I taste and review the $500 Tesla Mezcal, featuring a futuristic design with real Mexican craft in a huge surprise that I wasn't expecting. I also have the $650 Whistle Pig Boss Hog 11, the Juggernaut taste and review, one of my most prized collectibles at this time. And lastly, I've got the $550 Whistle Pig Boss Hog 12, the Feather and Flame, an homage to my original home, Mexico, by using for the first time in any whiskey, pulque and chocolate as part of the aging process. As always, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy and cheers. It's going to be a good day.